Hi, I'm recording live, and we're back. So yesterday we got our units walking around. So kind of to reiterate, what I want to work on today, which depending on your interest on what you learn on this, is actually going to try and debug why, after we create 4 of these guys, one of them doesn't want to move. So we're just going to be like very debuggy today. I think I have an idea what it might be, but if that's not it, then this could be kind of a frustrating cast to watch. But we're going to get at it anyways. So what I need to do is make sure that's running. It's going to just be a lot of trial and error. What I think it is, let's go down here. Let's look at the handler input unit move. What we're going to do is not the handler, the actions, unit move action. I'm feeling that this is coming back as null. So we're just going to do, actually I have a console assert. So we're going to take a look at that in a minute. So we're going to do trace unit move command ID. We know that's correct. So we want the unit ID and the position X, position Y, or Z, and we want the time. Let's see what that kind of comes back as. So let's take a look. I have a feeling that it's parsing funny, and so we want to make sure that is the case. We can close everything else, close others. In the meantime, we're going to start setting up the tests for unit, the test and server. So here, vi test lib king server battle interaction, and we're going to do the squad move interaction, and we're going to set a test for that. Battle interaction, squad move interaction test exs. Boom. Def module name server battle interaction squad move interaction, and we're just going to be doing this while we do our build, so that we're kind of doing 2 things at once effectively. So we're going to go right here, and we're going to do 1, and we're going to go 2, and we're going to go 3, and this one should be fine. They all 3 move. If we go 4, this is when things get irritated. See, that's exactly what I thought. We get really odd numbers going on. And so what we need to understand is why we're getting such weird numbers, especially when we start with the correct command ID. So let's look at input. That's the keyboard input. We got our stream as our net. Okay, so I'm going to track it straight up to the source, our socket. Probably not that part, but what we want to know is why is not coming in correctly. I thought we had a, yes, socket string handler. We need it on this level. And what we're going to do, we don't know which unit it was. So what we could do is we can trace the point when it's null. And here, our stream handler, this is when we pass the action off. So when we read, let's take a look at the unit move. Right here when we read it, this is when things get a little weird. So let's take a look here. So we're going to trace unit ID, the position X. We're just putting debugging in, trying to figure out Y. Position Z, and trace time. So give us a bit more information to what is going on. Alright, so in the meantime, use X unit case async true, use import mocker. That should be good enough. And we're going to describe the squad move interaction. Set up do end. We're gonna alias a couple things. Alias this. We're going to alias the unit move interaction, and we're going to alias this. And this inject was an accident. Alright, back to our debugging. This is how we maximize our coding time. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Select them all. Oops, selected my wizard. So there we go. It looks like we got 181, 48, 76, 119, and then it goes to hell here. This is our times. So those all look correct, and then suddenly we get madness. So at this point it's failed for unknown reason. So the question is, and that matches, so the question is the server sending it strange? Let's go back here, remove those. So we know here is our strangeness. So let's go to vi test, lib game server handler output unit move. So we're going to figure out what's going on here. So we're actually doing the stream writer, and what we're going to do is we're going to just do a, I'm going to make sure here, let's go back to unit move. It's definitely 4 integers. Read it. Okay, so we're going to IO inspect our unit move. And so that should be fine when we get there. So let's fix that. We're going to rebuild there. And let's go back here. While that builds, we're going to do mock battle unit util, mock unit move interaction, and mock no formation, and test. So we're going to say should move, should get squad and move entire squad. Okay. Go back over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Selecting that one. Let's kind of clear this out so we can see what's going on. And go. So it looks like they all moved together. So that's quite weird. So create another one. And they're all moving. So it is driven by, there we go. It almost looked like it was one of those issues that are quantum mechanics, where things change if they're observed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all 6 are being moved. It looks like there is some sort of issue. One, two. Let's move that. So we are getting all 6. That's the last one that happened. So the last one is unit ID is 355. So it's here. Move squad 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is all of them, but yet we're getting amazing numbers here. So it appears to me that it is something to do with our writer. vi dev game server util stream reader handler stream writer. So here when we write it, num2 bin length. So I wonder if it's easier to, instead of doing a bunch of sends, let's just do this. IO inspect data num2 bin. So let's drop that in there. We don't need to do a rebuild now. So not implemented for 1. Let's figure out, maybe it's this. Don't like that. We can just do this. Undo that. P. So it gives us 4. That looks reasonable. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. So the command ID is 3. So I think at this point is when we actually do the move squad to. Yes. So we get 3, 244, 192. Okay, so that looks reasonable. That all looks very reasonable. Let's move up here. Okay, so this does not look reasonable at all. But that could be negatives. In fact, it's likely negatives. So what's the deal here? I guess it would be interesting to know. It looks like it was the last one every time, wasn't it? Let's pull this back. We know that was weird. So let's go back to here. When we read stream, let's trace the stream bytes available. Handler. Let's see if we have more bytes available than what we read. Let's just play with that. So send that down because it's definitely coming out of the server correctly. While that builds, we're going to do a couple of tests here. So we're going to intercept battle unit util, get squad with need a player and a unit. This is going to be okay, and we need a player, which would be alias game server models player and then that should be fine. And I think we need, yeah, okay, player. This will give us a player, oops, player, we don't have a unit yet, and with function, we don't really care, and we're going to return a list of units, and oops, I don't want that. Okay, let's take a looky here. We're back to this point. Let's go here, here, there. Okay. So it's definitely the last one. So we got on data received is 12 bytes. This one has 29. So it does read through all of them. 29 seems a little weird, but probably okay. And the data seems fine. So what's the problem here? This time I got 0 for position Z or Z or whatever. So we've got read and -29. That looks reasonable. Let's clear this out. Let's drop them here. So we've got 63 bytes, 46 bytes, 29 bytes. So it's consistently so that time it wasn't the last one. Okay. That time it was. That time it was. Okay, so that does look wrong. This one does look really wrong. So it looks like it's coming out of the server wrong. So that's good. At least it's coming out of something incorrectly. So why is these things? I'm just gonna do inspect data. Should be okay. Getting closer. So that's great. I failed right away. And we do have some negatives, so that's fine. $1966. Aha! There we go. And then 14. Oh no, that's fine. So it should have been 3, which we did. 155, 57, 109. So these two numbers are wrong. This one is actually correct. Is that consistently? That's probably consistently correct. How weird. So a certain order of numbers, where they all come. The X and Y, so it leaves the server correctly, but receives on the client wrong. So this is unnecessary. So it's always 16. See if we can get them all to move. There we go. Yeah, it's always 16. So 16. Yeah, so that was a correct one, and he moved there. So that is okay. We don't need that data. And then we do handler read the stream. It takes us to here, and we read it. And at this point, it is wrong. So what's up with read int? read int right here. Check connected, read int 32. Buffered input read int 32 is for some reason giving us a weird value. What we could do what is bytes alloc? That gives us bytes. Temp buffer, bytes available. Buffer get I. Int. So we buffer with the position offset, the read buffer. So that's okay. It has to be something in here because it's being sent correctly. And most of it is read correctly. Which is really weird. It's really weird. Let's see here. Buffer input, this is our buffer blit. This is the buffer we read. So this is the new data that we came in. Let's just do our data int equals buffer.get I. I'm going to trace data. And we're going to data. Oops, editor. I'm going to kill that. Start from square one here. In the meantime, I'm going to need to create a def p create unit ID. This is going to do end. We're going to get a battle unit percent battle unit ID, and that should be fine. So we're going to say unit equals create unit 1, oops, unit 1 equals create, unit 2 equals create unit 2, unit 3 equals create unit 3. Alright. Let's solve this. May not be able to solve this today. This is actually kind of weird. And so we're going to select this one. Get rid of all that. So move. And handler unit move read. Whoa. Lots of zeros. $255, $389, $433. That's all we got. Not getting 97. Or 433. So this time it's not being sent from the server correctly. So let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that looks better. So it's 3, 3, 3. So the last one, 499. So it's really hard to tell from this point. Let's lots of zeros. 343, 365, 389, and then 499, which comes out to something very odd. So it looks like it's happening on a separate frame, but it's hard to say if the data is correct. According to this, it should be getting a lot of zeros. If we create more, okay. We got quite a few this time, and it's a different set. Ooh, look at that. Oh no, that didn't mean anything. So let's make this all out. This seems all okay. I think we really get the send okay. it almost like it appears that whenever it does this and does more reading, it fails. And then does some more reading, lots more reading, and then fails. That's the last one. Does some more reading and fails. It's like the last one. I'm running out of ideas here, but it is only, that one is only 3. And now all of them moved at one point. Let's do this. Got an idea here. Don't need that anymore. It's really hard to tell at that vantage point. It's too deep. We're only interested in the unit ID. That seems to be the culprit for the most part. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the stream handler, and we're going to say trace returning. Meantime, we're going to get units. So let's go here. Unit 2, unit 3. And now, when we call squad alias game server battle interaction squad move interaction squad move interaction dot move squad player unit 100. We should get a assert we need to do this to intercept no formation set formation. That's going to be the do units equals unit 1 unit 2 unit 3 units, and this is units, which is our squad, and our position X and position Y. Let's do 200, just so that there's a difference. With function and we're going to return the units again, and so it should be effectively no change there. Like here, we're returning. So selecting. Yes, it's reading the data, it stops, right, reading off the stream, and then goes to the next one. So let's run this again. So it goes, waits for more data. It's actually kind of hard to tell. Say trace getting handler And what do we want to know is trace handler total bytes. Back to this, so assert was called unit move interaction move unit with the argument of, darn it, that's not going to work. If handler is equal to null. I don't know how many times I've done stuff like that. Okay. It's going to get the player, the unit, target X. Okay, so squad location is going to be different. So we're going to need unit. It's going to be 101, 201. Unit 102, 202. It's going to be unit 2. And unit 3, 103, 203. There we go. Reopen. So if we look here, it's getting ready to do our thing. Select, there we go. So getting handler, getting handler, getting handler. Now we're returning at this point. And then we're saying we have 16 total bytes. Looks like we're going to need more data. Stream bytes available. Alright. Getting close to figuring out, well, at least some clarity what's going on here. So we're going to get unit 101 201 equals once. This is going to be unit 2 102 202. Unit 3 is 103 203. Okay. And line turner at 18. Syntax error for player. Line 21. Oop. So one of them got called, another one didn't. So I'll figure out why that's going on in a minute. All right. So what if we just do, there we go, that's better. And go. So at this point, we have $12 bytes available, but we need, wait a minute, 124 is we have 12 bytes available, but the handler needs 16. So therefore we read more data off the stream. So I'm going to do the irresponsible thing and say while stream.bytes available, trace stream.read int. And that's going to be total broken, but that's okay because we're debugging. So it looks like we have the unit 2 was not called. Battle unit. Inspect battle unit. Let's test. Weird. Okay. Should store player by player ID. Oh, weird. So we did get all 3. Ah, okay. So it's just there is a problem here. (102). Get rid of this. And this is it for the day because I gotta get going. Fetch. We didn't actually solve it, which is kind of sad, but we'll get there. We're getting closer. So, oh weird, did that not build? Uint should be bool, line 1.6, so it didn't even build. Okay, is greater than 0. Here we go. Hopefully we'll get some more information on it this time. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll clear this out and then select go. So, if we look at the data, we have 12 bytes left. And it's going to be 342, 326, 267, which is pretty good. And then wrong afterwards. So it's an issue with rereading the data off the socket. So it's something to do with the old data. it's the previous data that's wrong. It's been being written to the socket bad. So I think that is going to be something we'll have to solve tomorrow. So that's it for today. We got at least one test written. We've tracked down some issue here. Let's figure out if that was a real issue here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they've got 4 units. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to clear this. And that looks correct based on that looks like good data. So that's interesting, okay, but solvable. So I'm just cleaning up a little bit of code here. So we'll solve this tomorrow. All right, so happy coding. See you guys tomorrow. And yeah, let's do it.